Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic medium. And today, yes, I know you're like, oh my gosh, Susan found another astrologer wandering around her universal backyard and invited her in for chat. But I did better than that because Danielle here with me on the screen is a numerologist and an astrologer and so much more. And she's here to help us with this thing called the Fire Horse year, which I think is kind of important. Energetically, my guides are like, Susan, you should talk more about this. And I'm like, well, I really don't know what to say. So I went out and found Danielle, who's going to help us with this today. So she's going to give us some really important information, tips, strategies, just knowledge so that you're not hit by the side of the head like what just happened, like what is going on. I really feel like knowledge is power, and really happy to have you join us. How are you doing, Danielle?
Oh, hello. I'm really well today. I feel like every day is a little different, right? But today, you never know what the day is going to bring. However, I feel great. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Oh, thank you so much. So you're a numerologist, you're an
Mhm.
astrologer. I think that is such a really awesome combination of things. I would also say that you're very intuitive. You're psychic and intuitive as well. Maybe that's not something that you talk about or use or
Sure.
whatever, but I would just say energetically, you really are very
I am.
empathic.
Yes,
Um, but I think we all use those things, even in whatever
exactly.
job we're doing, we use those things. They're just
Yes.
maybe not something we're aware of. So what can you tell us, or what do you think is important for us to know about this new energy?
Yes, and it is new. That's the biggest thing that we have to realize is we moved into the Fire Horse year, and just before we entered into the Fire Horse, we kicked off 2026 with a one energy. And how we do that in numerology, very simple. We just take the numbers and we line them up and add them up together. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10. In Western numerology, we take off the 0. Now we have 1. So 1 is this energy of initiation, new beginnings. One is also, though, about revealing the truth. Because in order to really be able to move forward, in order to really get going, there are some things that you need to see. And so that's what one also presents to us so that we can then get into the momentum. And one thing that I like to add about one is also I. So one is the energy of I. So it is a year to be a little bit more self-involved and self-focused and self-activated. So we have all of that one energy happening. And I do feel like the start of the year was around that truth being revealed. And then when we got into the lunar new year, which is always going to be the new moon within Aquarius season, that then activated the fire horse. But really, with the fire horse right now, we have to realize the horse first is kind of in the stables. It's just in the field, it's grazing, it's getting, prepared. And I feel like we're still in this sweet spot of like, we're not out the gate yet. We're not running the race. We're not on the track. We're not out, running wild just yet. And so we're in this interesting spot of just like preparation as the horse and getting used to this one eye energy.
Wow. So if you had to gauge,
Mhm.
when do you feel like this activation energy is really going to kick in?
I feel like it's spring equinox. Part of why I
Oh,
feel, yes, spring equinox, first of all, spring equinox in astrology, so it's another new year. So spring equinox always kicks off the astrological new year, which starts off with Aries. Aries is the first sign of the sun system in astrology. So that's once again one energy, the first sign of the zodiac, moving into our astrological new year in spring. And also what will be behind us is this lunar new year kicked off a solar eclipse. On March 3rd, we'll have a lunar eclipse. We're also starting Mercury retrograde. It'll be February 26th until 320, which is the spring equinox. So I feel like the spring equinox will have the eclipses behind us. We'll have Mercury retrograde behind us. We'll be in fresh Aries energy, the first sign of the zodiac, and that's going to clear the runway. And now that the runway is clear and the gate is open, now it's going to be up to you to say, okay, go ahead. Like it's up to you.
so would you say that this time, tell me, do you know when the spring equinox is?
It's going to be March 20th.
March 20th. Okay,
Yes.
everybody, let's just make a mental note of that. And then would
Hmm.
you suggest that this time we're basically have a month, you guys. So
Yes.
there's a month of kind of what I'm hearing Danielle say, and then also reading the energy is this we have a month of kind of like wishy-washy, misdirection, backwards, forwards. We're not sure what's happening
Yeah.
energy, which is not great considering that the
No,
gate's going to fly open on the 20th and
it
we're
is.
going to be, somebody's going to say, go. And
Yeah.
we're going to be
And you're
like,
like,
I
who,
don't
me?
even know what my name is right
Right.
now. Like, I actually, in my newsletter, I'm talking about how this is so interesting because I made my plans for
Mhm.
2026. Like, I'm like, I'm going to do this, I'm gonna do that. And I'm telling you, about a week ago, the universe was like, threw it all away. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and I think I have glimmers, I have ideas, I have
Yes.
kind of general concepts about it,
Mhm.
but when I try to nail it down and say, okay, let's get started, because I am experiencing a little bit of that activation energy with
Yes.
Aries, right? I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, I'm getting a little bit more energy,
Hmm.
but this isn't really the time to launch it. What do you think about that?
I agree with that. Right now, we're in the ideation phase. And so it's important to have the ideas and to start to brainstorm and start to rally around what's possible, what you feel capable of. This is a great time to do research and to get ready. And then once we get to spring equinox, then it's ownership time. Now we go from ideation to ownership. And so, what you have to do is also within this window for individuals that maybe sometimes are really good at starting ideas or getting the idea or playing with the idea, you also have to use these next few weeks to also say, I'm going to be accountable to these ideas.
That's the
I,
part that I,
this is the state. This is why we're still in the stables because we have to stabilize. How are you
oh, wow.
stabilizing your energy so that when the gate opens, you know who you are, you know what you're doing. You're saying, put me in, coach. I'm ready. I've been practicing, I've been preparing, I have my notes, and I'm ready to do the thing, whatever that looks like. And it doesn't mean you have to do it all in that moment, but there is momentum. It's taking the inspiration and turning it into action. So, what needs to happen within this window to allow that to happen? What are you still avoiding? What conversations are you not having? It's great to have ideas. We love that for you. But there comes a point where you can't just play in the idea state, in the dreams. The dreams have to become reality. And so what also, and this is what the Mercury retrograde is about. Mercury retrograde is about what might be holding you back because retrograde just means to take a step back. It doesn't, we've kind of turned retrogrades into collective chaos or turbulence when really that's never the point. Astrologers, we use RX for retrograde. So RX, that's a prescription. It's a
Oh my God, I
script.
love that.
It's a way for it's an antidote and it's asking you, "Hey, what this is actually here to help you to come back, take a little review, what still might be not cleaned up from last year, what is it that you're still kind of dancing around? Let's let's get let's get a read on that. Let's handle it, and then let's make space. This period is also about creating space so that once again, when the runway is clear, you're not falling over your shoes or tripping or, have all these obstacles in the way.
Right. And that's removing the obstacles, right? that's
Removing
that's just
obstacles.
identifying them. Maybe we're not going to remove them, and that's a really good
Yeah.
point. Actually, we may not even remove the obstacles, we may just go around them. We
Yeah.
just might say, that's not serving me and my best right now, and I'm just going
Yeah.
to go around this. I'm not, so think about that, because I think a lot of times, especially coming out of 2025, I feel
Mhm.
like it was big, it was a lot of big things, and we're still reeling from whatever happened in the last span of time that would
Mhm.
be something that would be astrological, numerological. And I feel like this new energy, we're still a little dizzy, it feels like we're still a little ungrounded, and I think that's why you're saying we need space, right?
Yes,
So when
space and
you
stability. Hmm.
and what,
And
stability.
stability. Hmm.
Yes, and stability. So that's what you focus on right now, right? Like, just that's your mantra for the next month, is what makes me stable. I mean, I think that's all you have to do. You don't have to go out and solve these problems. You don't have to think about, well, I've got this bad relationship or this boss, or I've got this health. That's not what we want you to think about. We want you to just be right here, right now, and be like, I am stable, but also I want you to add, I am worthy. I am worthy
Yes.
of my best life. I am, just
Yes.
start saying that to yourself. I swear, it's magic. Words are spells. I am
Mhm.
worthy. I am worthy. I am stable. What do I need today to make me feel stable, right? So those things, we do those things.
Mhm.
And can I just ask you, because something I don't think that I've gotten a very good read on is what is the, if you had to encapsulate the fire horse energy just in a general way,
Mhm.
what are we expecting? How is that going to impact us? And is it going to impact the whole world? I mean, probably, right?
Yes, yeah, yes and no, because
Oh,
in some ways, a lot of this, because we're in a I year, it is a self-focused year. A lot of the focus is on us and taking this awareness for our own self,
oh,
and also inner development. And sometimes when we're bringing more of our awareness, more of our attention to our own self, the outside world gets a little further away. And so we might actually notice that happening. We might not have the outer world right in our faces as much as we think. And so that's going to be an interesting interplay. But with the fire horse in general, we want to realize the horse represents acceleration, momentum, creativity, feeling open and free, finally doing the things that you love, not saving it for someday. Oh, one day it would be nice to go visit that place. It's like now or never. And I don't mean that in a like, hurry up and go right now, but there is a feeling of like, why are you still putting it off? Why are you saying one day, someday, today? That is the horse. The horse runs free. The horse understands what it feels like, the joy of running and being wild. And then we add in the fire element. And so then the fire element is only going to bring more charge. So it is a fast energy. And so many people are going to be making really big strides this year. Like, I want you to know that this is the year that big things can happen for you. This is the year where things do come together. If they didn't last year, if they didn't even, I mean, 2025 was a 9 year, we were clearing 2017 to 2025. And if something didn't happen in that window, don't let that discourage you from this year because this is the year it happens for you. And that's what the horse wants us to know. What's interesting, not to get too ahead of ourselves, the following year, we're going to have the fire goat. So we're going to have two fire energies.
didn't even know that.
Yeah. And the goat is also about following your own unique path and being a little bit more out there and taking ownership of this new version of yourself that you're claiming. So that's what we have. And again, with the fire, it's going to be quick. So things are not going to be slowing down. And I say that in the best way possible. And that's what the horse is initiating, especially with the fire element.
I love that because I think that when we're telling people, it's about you and your own worthiness and your own individual and maybe individuality. I would also say you're going to get some help here because you're going to have the action energy, right? You're going to have the activation energy to say, I don't know why, but I feel like going back to school. I don't know why, but I feel like we should get into therapy and work on these issues. I don't know why, but I want to deepen my knowledge in this thing. I don't know why, but I want to experience this new whatever.
Yes.
You're going to be like have a little zing in your energy to take those steps.
Yes. I would say curiosity will be rewarded this year. So,
I need to write that down. Instead of killing the cat, what is it? What do they say?
oh yeah,
Like, okay,
curiosity killed the cat.
the cats are good this year.
Yeah,
Cats
the
are
cat.
good. This is a
The
good year with your cat.
This is a great, I mean, yeah, horses and cats, they get along, right?
Yeah,
Sure,
of course. I
sure.
just shared a video of horses and cats. That's why this stuff, I swear you can't make this
It's
stuff up.
all, yes, it's all connected. It's all connected. Of course it is. And yes, your curiosity will be rewarded. The moments that you choose expansion will create more exciting moments in your life and also meaning. How good would it feel to come out of this year and be like, I have more meaning. I have more excitement around that. Those are the bigger themes that are happening so long as you answer these calls. And they can be micro pings. Oh, I'm going to get this book. Oh, I'm going to watch this video. And then it just continues to accelerate as the horse does from there.
I love that you said that because they're small steps, right?
Yeah.
They're tiny steps that your guides are guiding you in ways you don't even know, and that's how they like it because we're more guidable when we're taking very small steps. When we see the big picture, sometimes we get a little, you know, shy or maybe overwhelmed by it. So I love that you said that. These are, let's not even think about necessarily always having big steps. Although I do feel like this energy is can be big. It can be you
Can
meant to
be.
take a small step and you took five.
Sure. And look, there's a lot of co-creation energy this year also. So
Nice.
whatever that might mean for you. So co-creating with your higher self, co-creating with your God, co-creating with your guys, co-creating with literal human partners or collaborators, all of that is also going to be in the field as well. And and then also let yourself be too much. Let
Let
yourself be too
yourself
much.
be too much.
You're never going to be too much
I
in
love
the eyes of the
Danielle, y'all.
universe.
How do you feel about eating chocolate?
I like more dark chocolate, but
I do
yes.
too. No, I do
Okay.
too. Okay,
Yes.
we're on the same
Yes.
page. Okay,
Because
let yourself be too much. I
let
love
yourself
that.
be too much because look, guess what? Even with the chocolate, your body will tell you when it's enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go for
Well,
it. And then your body will be
I
like,
have
"Hey,
to.
we're good here." And then you're like, "Okay, I'm listening to my body." And I had the thing.
Yeah.
Let
Let
yourself be.
yourself be too much.
Yes.
That is, I hate to say it, but that's kind of a radical statement,
It is.
especially I think for women, because we, I know me myself, I'm like, get people to be quiet, you're too big, too big, too loud, too whatever. So let yourself be too much. I
Yeah.
mean, that might be a really good mantra for 2026.
I believe so because honestly, your too much probably actually isn't even that much. That's the wild part of it all too. It's like let yourself be too much and you'll actually probably balance out to the cadence that you came here for, that you're meant to be.
Wow, I love that. I love that. That's fantastic. All right. Well, very cool. So around March 20th. And then
Yeah.
is there anything else that you want to talk about as far as the fire horse? Anything else we should know?
I feel like those are the big significant moments. And just remember, I feel like with any archetype, really study it and get to develop your own personal relationship with what the horse might mean for you. You might decide you're more the horse that likes to graze in the field. You might be the horse that runs along the water at sunset. You might be the one that just likes to hang in the stables or be at the tracks. Even like imagine in your mind for this year, what would your horse look like? Is it tan with brown spots? Is it purple with wild hair? I'd say play with the archetype and what a horse means to you. And you're going to find that that's going to guide you with how you get to be the horse this year yourself.
I can't tell you how much I love that because you're empowering yourself instead of
Yes.
this thing being this abstract, which it was until I started talking to you. It was this abstract thing, and I think I was really focusing on the fire part.
Yeah.
And I love the way you're saying make it work for you, right? Like why not embody that energy and use it?
Yes, that all of these tools, all of these frameworks, in my opinion, are to meet us where we're at. So how can you take the knowledge and then churn it into something that once again becomes meaningful for you so that you can create meaning in your life?
Right, right, exactly. It's not an abstract concept. It's your life. It's you. It's your identity, your future, your
Yes.
individuality, right? I
Yeah.
love that. I totally
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah.
And then how just the fire part is
Yeah.
basically just how would you add that to because so I'm picturing my horse, right? But
Yes.
then do I need to make some sort of additional accommodation for the fire part?
Yes, well, we want to do the same thing. What does fire represent for you? Is fire just lighting a candle at night while you're eating dinner? Is fire a big bonfire? Also, we have to realize fire isn't always wild and crazy. There are moments where the fire does need to die down. There are moments where you need to take a break from it. There's moments where you just need, it's exactly where it's supposed to be. So can you tame the fire? Finding moments this year where that's a tricky thing for many people. It's like, okay, we got the momentum. We did the thing. This is so exciting. We're in it. How do I sustain this? What do I do
Do
now?
you
Now that
even want to?
do I even want to? Maybe I feel good and I want to put it out and I want to put it to the side and then work on the next fire. Or maybe I just want to hold it. Maybe I just want to stay warm and fuzzy in what I created for a while. And so those are the elements of the fire that we want to ask ourselves. Just like with the creating our horse archetype, what kind of fire are you building, creating? Is it simple, like lighting a candle or burning some
Wow.
incense? Or is it a raging bonfire that you want to invite other people to as well? Because some people this year, they're going to be bringing more people into their community. Maybe they need to create that signal. It's going to vary, but same thing. Just don't look at fire as like it's going to always be fast. It's going to always be ignited because that's not actually how fire works either. Fire eventually does need moments where it needs to be cooled down or tamed or put out even.
I love that. And it's not necessarily going to burn. I think given what we've been through, maybe we're traumatized and we think that's going to burn everything down. I'm going to burn everything down. And I love the way you again gave us the the kind of the permission to have
Mhm.
control of the fire. And I think it's interesting you talked about the bonfire because is that a beacon, a signal for other people to join you to create community? I would also say the fire, for me, I suggest a lot of times that people that have trouble meditating stare into a candle flame. So it could be an invitation to go into trance, to go into
Mhm.
communication with whatever you're working with, your spirit guides,
Love
your
it.
angels, whatever that might be for you.
Mhm.
So it can actually be a transformational portal where you're able to, move into a different kind of realm.
Absolutely. And if you identify as a fire sign in astrology, that would be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, you might feel more expressed this year because of the fire element at play as well.
Does that does that also affect other signs maybe in an opposite way, like earth signs or air
Great,
signs?
great question. So yes, if you're a earth sign, you want to make sure that you don't burn out this year.
Oh boy, too
That's
late.
that. And yeah, and our charts are multi-layered, so we have a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
different
yeah,
elements
yeah,
running
yeah.
through. But if we're looking at it from a sun or rising sign perspective, yes, earth signs, you want to watch out for burning out and sustainability and maintaining the fire. Same with our water signs. Same thing. It's like, well, water signs, you don't want to put out the fire before it gets going. Notice sabotage. Are you you're trying to create this, oh, I don't know, this is too much, too much, too much. No, no, I'm allowed to be too much. Okay, I'm going to keep it going. I'm not going to put it out
Oh,
before it gets started. So that's a big thing.
interesting.
And then with air
Interesting.
signs, we want to watch out for rushing, impatience, blowing it out because we're like huffing and puffing. Why isn't this happening yet? It will. It will. Just stay in it.
Wow, very interesting. So I have another question. I've noticed this just recently. You talked about rising signs and sun signs,
Yeah.
but for some things like this, you omit the moon sign. Can you
Mhm.
explain why that is? We don't
Sure.
use the moon
Sure.
sign for those types of things?
Yes, because the sun sign is who we are by day. Who are you when the sun is out? And many individuals, when we're working with this energy, we're working with the solar power behind it. And so, because of that, we work with the sun sign. Same with the rising. The rising is where the sun was along the ascendant when you were born. So, once again, that's solar energy. So, we're even though this was activated on the Lunar New Year, it was activated on the Lunar New Year actually as an opportunity for us to take a night off to celebrate, to rest, to
Mm.
get ready, so that then as we open up into the year, then it's like, okay, here I am. The sun is upon us, the spotlight is on me. Let's go, let's do this. So the Lunar New Year, that's why I always tell people like just enjoy it. Take the night off on the Lunar New Year because that is the point. And then you can get going, which we're seeing. We realize it takes a little time to get charged up.
Yes, and that's the first thing you said is that it's going to take some time, right? Okay,
Mhm.
fantastic. And I've never heard anybody explain it to me like that. The sun sign is the sun, is the daylight, and the moon would be the night or the shadow or, that type
Subconscious.
of energy, the
Yeah, who are
internal.
you? Yes, because a lot the sun is who you are by day, and then if the moon is who you are by night, who you are behind closed doors isn't always the person that you are out and about in a beautiful way.
Right. It's needed.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not bad at all.
exactly. It's the balance. There's a reason why the sun sets and the moon rises, and vice versa, and they take turns, and they have different personalities, different sides to them. So do we.
Wow. I can tell you're a good teacher because I've already learned so much from you. That is fantastic. Okay. And by the way, she has classes. We'll talk about that a little bit later. She has a class coming up that's going to help you deal with this actually. Unleashed, right?
Yes,
It's
yes. It works
specifically
with
about the fire.
exactly. It's a three-part journey to work with the energetics of 2026.
Right, right, right. You guys, I'll have all the information in the description down below. She YouTube channel, all the social medias, her website. she's fantastic. I'm just totally enjoying this. I hope you are too.
Yes.
And so, yes, that is so fascinating. All right. So I love that. And I love the way you gave us some advice for, earth signs and air signs and also fire signs, just generalities, right? As
Mm.
she said, just very briefly, your chart is a multi-layered, you know, um,
Blueprint.
dashboard of your
Mhm.
life. And just like your car has all the controls, right? You just don't drive your car with one control, with forward, So you
Mhm.
really can dive into this. And I would invite you to dive into it and learn more about it. Like she said, be empowered. We could spend this next month just being empowered, getting ready for the new energy. Because I really feel like, especially in April, we're
Yes.
going to put it in drive. We're going to put it in forward. And sometimes when we get this activation energy, we start taking actions without realizing that we have this activation energy. And then you might be going maybe in the direction that you hadn't planned on because you didn't take this time to sort of sort out who you are and where you might want to go. Fascinating. So the other thing that I wanted to ask you about is the number one, and we talked a little bit about it, but
Yeah.
you mentioned that, and this is what I said, but you put it into words like energetically, I felt like we had just gone through this big phase. And you said,
Yeah.
yes, from this year to this year, we're closing it out.
Yes.
And going into this next phase
Mhm.
in general, like number 1 year, what can you tell us about that?
Yes. So what we're doing is, so 2025 was like wringing out the towel. That was the analogy I used. We were just wringing everything out. And there was a reason for that, because we could be, so that way when you're done wringing out the towel, what happens? It dries, it fluffs back up, and you can use it again. And that's essentially what this year is about. So 2026 being a 1 year, it's kicking off a fresh cycle that will be with us for the next 9 years. So basically, this year is kicking off a momentum that will technically stay with us till 2034. And so, all that to say, into 2035 a little bit. So, all that to say, what we want to look for this year is not only being open to bringing, like, moving things forward and taking the ideas. And part of why a lot of your ideas aren't coming to form is because a lot of your ideas don't belong in this new iteration.
That's what
That
happened.
That's the thing. A lot of the ideas or the things that we felt called to do, or that course you started, or that thing you did, or you went, and then you're like, wait, I don't want to do it. I'm not really that into it. Don't beat
I
yourself up
see.
for that. Yeah. And I want to say, for anyone that's like in a space right now where they're like over it, I mean, clearly look at it, look under the hood, make sure that you really like, but if you're like, I feel complete, or like, if anything, that helped me realize what I don't want, or it got me into it was a bridge into what I do want. So I will say last year was definitely a bridge into this current year. And when you kind of cross off a bridge into new land, you're like, whoa, like I'm on this island, or I'm in this new world. And the new world is going to have different concepts, different modalities for you. It's going to have another kind of presentation. And so what I'm finding for this year is the presentation is different. And so therefore what you're bringing to it may be different as well. So it's okay to be open to going different directions, new ideas, being even more open to being, if you feel a little bit like you're different or you're a little bit more out there. That is encouraged this year with the one energy.
Are
Because
you
once
telling people
again,
to get their freak on?
I really am. I really am. Yes, get your
All right, do it, y'all. She said it was okay.
drop the
You
disco
just go tell
ball.
your
Here we
husband or your
go.
wife. Danielle said, I got to get my freak on, honey.
You have
So
to. You have again, it's a one, but it's also I. It's an eye. So, and I, our third, tapping into our third eye. And what is that telling us? What is it that, what is and this is one thing I've been saying too, and this is in Unleashed. What is the one thing out of everything that's swirling around you right now? What is the one thing that you really want to commit to in this year?
that's in your class that's coming up.
Yeah, so that's what we focus on. What is the one thing that just seems to keep coming through? Yeah, and even for you, what would be the one thing if you saw one thing through in 2026? What would it be?
That's very interesting because the I did focus on me, right? I didn't
Mm,
focus. Typically, I would focus on
business.
the bigger, the
Yes.
community, whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I want to. I want to move through 2026 with more, and this is, I think, again, like a mantra that you can hang on to, right? And it can be your cause. Why are they speaking French? I cannot say these words. Cause de célébrer. I don't even know if that makes sense, but anyway, cause to celebrate. But so what is it for
Yes.
you guys? And you can do it right now. Take the class, don't take the class, but you can do it right now. She's here to help you right now. We're here to help you
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
What is the one thing?
One thing. What is the one thing in the one year that you want to see through?
That's
And what if it
brilliant.
was that simple? Because then that's going to carry the momentum into a 2 year, and a 2 year is bringing in more that will complement all that you did in 2026. 2027 is
Building
meant
on
to,
it.
yeah, it's meant to build, it's meant to complement. It's meant to, based on what is complementary to the life that you created in 2026, what else can be brought in? And it's more of a receiving year, next year.
Really?
It's
So
more receiving.
receiving. So you're
Receiving.
building and then you're complementing. That's the word you keep using. So it's
Yes.
in a almost in a collaborative and
Yep.
you're
Mhm.
receiving. So
Yes.
you to me, I mean, maybe this is what I'm getting. One of the options
Yeah.
could be that you decide that you're going to change your career or step into a new energy around money or
Mhm.
abundance, and then in 27 you collect. you know
Exactly.
you
Exactly. You collect, you do, you receive. Because here's the thing too, we didn't talk about this. Numbers carry masculine or feminine energies. One is considered a masculine. So one is about action in, kind of output, if you will. And then two becomes more feminine, which is receiving
receiving.
input, more passive.
These two things could work really well together. You know what
They
I mean? Like, I mean, I
they could.
think
It's
they
almost
are
as if it was
complementary.
designed that way.
Well, that's right. That's right. If we're talking about, yeah, that
Yeah.
that's fascinating. That is
Mhm.
absolutely fascinating. So how does the eclipse fit into all of this?
Yeah, great. Because it's like, but wait, there's more.
I know it's
That's the
like
theme of this year.
I know
Is
it's like you thought you had it all figured out,
yes,
but guess what?
there's more. So, and it doesn't always happen this way. So, having the Lunar New Year fire horse coincide with the solar eclipse. The last time this happened was 60 years ago. So it's not often that this all kind of coincides in this way. And a new moon lunar new year isn't always a solar eclipse. So the fact that we kicked off with that, eclipses operate this way. So when we have an eclipses happen twice a year, and they happen in pairs. The solar eclipse will always happen with a new moon. And then a lunar eclipse will always happen with a full moon. And what the eclipse does is it takes that new moon and it multiplies it by three. Takes that full moon, multiplies it by three. So what it's doing is it's kind of like a mega illumination of whatever that lunar phase was designed to be. So the fact that in this case, this new moon was designed to be the Lunar New Year in Aquarius, and now we're adding in an eclipse. That's saying that this energy is even more important. There's a reason why we're talking about the fire horse more this year. There's a reason why
Yeah.
there's more attention around. Last year, people weren't talking about the snake like this.
No.
They weren't. Why? Because there was no
No.
eclipse attached to it. The eclipse is kind of
Oh.
like bringing in the media. It brought in the spotlight around the horse, and it was like, hey, everyone, it's important that you pay attention to this. It's important that you know this is a 1 year. It's important that you know that you're going to become the horse. It's important that you know that things are changing, because that's also what Aquarius is about. So Aquarius is all about the future and how can we adapt and how can we bring things forward in a way that's better, because clearly we're outing all the systems that aren't favorable. We're revealing a lot of blind spots around that. And so, how can you take charge, make yourself better this year, and then present that to the world as we follow? So, that's what that first stage of the eclipse was about.
Wow, that's a
Yes.
lot.
Yes. And then we take part two, because again, they work in pairs. So then the lunar eclipse is happening with a full moon in Virgo on 3/3. So we like that energy of 3/3. So it'll be
Yeah.
3/3/1, which means, three is energy of uh you were looked after, you were supported. There is community, whether it's physical community, whether it's metaphysical community, whether it's, community with your guides, ascended masters, whatever you want to, however you want to look at it. So that 3/3 full moon is happening in Virgo, closing out a Pisces Virgo cycle that we've been having for a couple of years. So this is the last eclipse in Virgo for for about another decade. So this now is saying this full moon Virgo lunar eclipse happening now that we're under the horse. It's happening with a Mercury retrograde in Pisces. It is going to say, hey, we just need you to go back and double check that you cleared everything, that you really let go what you needed to let go. And look, we're never going to let go of everything. There's no way we're just going to just suddenly be like, okay, cool, like, yep, got it. However, what are there still things that you were like, yeah, I know I was supposed to let this thing go, but maybe I won't, and maybe I'll get away with it. This full moon is like,
No, no. I swear to
that
God, it's already
thing that
doing it.
yeah, that you like, you threw in the closet and you're like, no one will notice.
Yeah,
They know. They know. So they're gonna, so this full moon is gonna call out that sticky little thing that you're like, maybe I can just keep holding on to it. Maybe this will turn around. And it's like, no, just let it go. Let it go. And that's what I mean by like, what haven't you cleared yet? What are you still like hoping will turn into something? And ask yourself why. Why are you holding on to it so much? Why aren't you letting go? What do you think it's going to give you that you can't give yourself in this new iteration of where we are? And taking ownership of that and let yourself be in the space. And that's what we have with that.
that is awesome. And you guys, that could be a person, but it could also be an idea. It could be a
Exactly.
habit that you have. It could be a health habit that you're like, well, I know I should eat this or not eat that, or maybe I should get more exercise. Those are all the things. It
Yeah,
could be anything like that.
exactly.
It could be a
Exactly.
notion that you just have that you always believed that this thing was the truth, and you might have
Mhm.
an awareness that it's not the truth, or you
Yes.
might have a, how can spirit bring this to your attention? Like when you say let it go, um, what are some ideas or ways that could show up?
Sure. I mean, me even saying this might register for someone.
That's true.
That's one right there. But even just being exposed to this information in this
That's
moment,
true.
what's the first thing you think of? Is it, oh, maybe I don't need a glass of wine every night? Hmm,
Right.
interesting. So that's one way, just
Right.
noticing right now if anything. But if you're like, "Ah, I just still don't really know, I'm not quite sure what it is. Start to notice your day-to-day life. Start to notice and ask Spirit for help. Show me the block. Show me the thing that I just can't see. Show me what I'm not aware of. And I want you to notice throughout your day if there are little moments that trigger you, or if there's someone you notice after you talk to them, you're kind of like, ugh, or like, I keep saying I'm gonna, and then all of a sudden you're gonna catch yourself. Oh, I keep saying I'm gonna stop talking to that person. Or you catch, oh, I keep saying that I'm gonna take a walk after dinner and then I don't. Or it'll be there. It'll
It'll
be
be
there.
there.
But you just gotta kind of like bring in a little surveillance and ask
Surveillance. I
spirit to
love
help.
that. And I love that. I love how you describe that. So you guys, those little thoughts, that's what's going to happen.
Mhm.
That's how you know, right? I know I keep telling myself I'm going to say no to my boss. I know I keep saying that I'm going to take more time for myself. I that's what we're talking about. Is they seem like little things, but I don't think spirit, we cannot energetically, I'll just tell you, we can't go into 2026 with whatever happened in 2025 unfinished. It's like, why would you go on? Here's what the guides are saying. Why would you go on vacation? You're all excited. You got your clothes out, you're putting it in your suitcase, and you just put a bunch of dirty laundry in there. Why would you take dirty laundry on a vacation? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it.
No.
We're not going to do it, right? So the difference is that you might be, in the past, you might have gotten a pass for that. And now I'm going to tell you already, my life, that is February 25th, you all, when we're recording this, and my life is already literally, I have on my newsletter, it's like the universe deleted my files, like
Yep.
I don't even remember. It's like in the old days when you would just be working and you didn't have autosave. For you all that remember, we didn't have autosave. We had
Mm.
to put save. So something would happen and everything would just disappear. And you've been working on it all morning and just really feeling good. You're almost there and poof, that's kind of how I feel like they
Yep.
did my life in this
Yes.
last month. And and I'm okay with that, right? Like I'm okay. I was in
Surrender.
shock. I was in
Mhm.
shock, and I was in a little bit awe. Like, I know that there were. It's not like they've changed it dramatically. They've given me these hints. I've been getting the hints. I've been getting the glimmers, just like she's talking about. I just kept putting it off.
This is that you can't put it off anymore, and you're not going to get away with it anymore. No more passes. And honestly, you're probably going to feel more relieved. You have to realize what it's giving you. And while it's giving you space and it's giving you new opportunity, in the moment, reassurance, relief, a feeling of, oh, I can exhale. And that's a really beautiful thing too. One thing that spring is going to ask of us, especially with the Aries energy, look at your to-do list and where are you on that to-do list? If you're still at the bottom, we have a problem here. We got to do some shuffling. We're not saying that you have to, take everybody off the list. We're not saying you have to say no to everybody, but like you gotta
No.
you gotta move yourself to the top. You gotta move yourself to spot number one. And then, look at what follows.
And remember what she said about earth signs. Remember what she said about air signs. Remember what she said about fire signs. Because I think for fire signs, with this, they're already having this natural kind of tendency towards that. They may actually be a little trigger happy. They may be ahead of themselves and find that they have to actually slow down or back up or turn. How do you feel about that
Yeah, well, I feel like you're calling me out. So I'm a Leo sun, moon,
oh,
rising.
so are you really?
Yes,
That
so
is
triple
not an
fire.
energy I would have gotten. I mean, I got the Leo, but I wouldn't have got a triple Leo.
It's what I was telling you earlier, Capricorn parents. That
Rearranged your Leo in a
that
new
he did.
position, a new.
They rearranged my Leo. That's
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly what they did. But what I would say for
Oh,
us,
wow.
yeah, isn't that funny? It's true. It's all by design. So what I would say if you are more fiery, uh, get excited because it is our turn, and fire signs haven't had a turn in a minute. So it is our turn, and that's great. And so this is about looking at it more so from a space of this is where I get to naturally shine. And when we say naturally, that's paced out. It's organic. I want you to think about the flow being organic this year. I want you to look at the seasons. I want you to look to nature. And that's how you're allowing your fire to flow this year.
And I just want to, because this has come up 3 times while you're talking. This people pleasing. So she said, it could be that you exhale. It could be that you're relieved. Unless you're got a little codependency or a little people pleaser in you, you're going to feel like you're letting people down by being in the I energy, and that's
Mhm,
going to be a struggle. So it
mhm,
might be a really good time to get therapy, or it might be a really good time to go on YouTube. If you can't find therapy, you can go on YouTube. I always talk about the crappy childhood fairy. I think she's amazing.
mhm.
But there are people on YouTube who can help you
Yes.
have a better sense of how do I, if I don't have a good sense of self-worth, or I don't feel worthy, or I am a people pleaser, I have some codependent tendencies, this I energy is going to challenge you like nothing you've ever. It is going to make you feel very uncomfortable. But
Yes.
forewarned is forearmed. Now you know that. And you can gently start stepping into the I am energy. And when I said that, there are literally affirmations that you can find on YouTube that are simply I am affirmations. And that's probably a really good energy right now, given
Oh,
this.
absolutely. I enter right. I am is perfect. Working with the I am affirmations is great for 2026. I'm so glad that you brought in bringing the support. Just because this is more of a solo focused year, that doesn't mean you have to do it all on your own. So it's knowing when to reach out, knowing when to be supported, knowing when you're having a moment, when you're being triggered to get you back on track with yourself again. And that's so important in all of this too, because this year is also about letting yourself be seen, letting yourself be recognized for what you're here for. So we have to make sure that you feel in your best state possible to allow that to happen.
That's I guess that is exactly what my guides told me. And I'm saying, I wish I had a warning, but you shouldn't ever get a warning sometimes because again, you're going to want to hide from, big changes and big growth opportunities, right? They
Mm.
feel uncomfortable. Look, the guides are saying you may not or may remember when you went to your first day in school by yourself, right? You had to sit in this room with people you didn't know and without your parents and, you know, be exposed. And it's okay. We've done this before. We can do it again.
Absolutely. It's okay to be vulnerable in this process. This year is not saying you have to have it all figured out. No one's saying solve the problem. We're just asking you to prioritize you, let yourself be a little bit too much, get used to that, get
That is
comfortable, and
so
then see where it takes you.
that is so uncomfortable for me. I swear to God. It's so funny though, because this iteration of my life, I have such a public life, but it's still
Yes.
uncomfortable for me.
Totally.
And I know my God, what my guides have been talking about for 6 years is happening this year. They're like, they're just pushing me out, like go ahead, get in the spotlight. And I'm like, I don't want to.
No,
But
impressive though. You're a natural. I thought that right away. As soon as we met, I was like, oh, she's good at this. She's fun.
Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. It's funny. I have the ability, but I don't. Maybe I don't have the confidence, right, or something. I'm not sure what that is, but I will say I never saw it for myself, right? Like I
Mm.
never pictured this as my life. So that's a little incongruency sometimes, I think. But yeah, so it's fascinating. That is absolutely cool. So I would just say, you guys, I would take all her advice and maybe journal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe this is a
Mhm.
good time
Mhm.
to, because I feel like everything is going to be so new. You're not going, we have these thoughts, we have dreams, we wake up, we don't remember them, we get guidance, we don't remember it. I feel like if you just have a journal, this might be a really good time to have a journal, make it very private, put a
Mhm.
lock on it, whatever you need to do. But feel free to just write out your insecurities or your questions, or I don't understand this, or I hope I get more guidance about this. That's
Mhm.
kind of like self pacifying yourself
Yeah.
through this
Purging. Hmm.
and supporting yourself through this kind of situation. If and getting a therapist is always a great idea. Get
Yes.
somebody
Yes.
that can help you,
Mhm.
because also with this I energy, I just want to say that sometimes when we're in a family dynamic or a relationship dynamic or even a friendship dynamic, when you lose that weight and you're looking good, sometimes they're not that supportive of you, right? When you get that amazing job and all of a sudden you got that raise, sometimes those people are not as supportive of you because you've changed the dynamic. And I
Mhm.
feel like this could be something that we see this year because of the I energy. They
Yes.
may not want to see you in your healed or in your I moment. So you're going to probably need to understand the dynamics and understand boundaries, and you might need some help with that. Would you say about that?
Absolutely. The shadow energy of one, especially with the way that it kind of presents itself in 2026, is jealousy, is envy.
Oh,
It is, I mean, it's honestly because of the Aries implications as well. It is the energy of like war. And so you want to notice there might be moments where people are picking fights with you or, just kind of like picking on you. And you're like, where did that come from? Or just little like
because you used to be
comments.
invisible. I swear to God, you used to be invisible and now you're not.
Now you're not, and that was a big part of the snake also because the snake was shedding our skin, well, releasing the weight. And now that you've released the weight and you're like, hey, I'm not going to wait in this year. I lost the weight, literally. So this year isn't the year of waiting for me. So I'm going to move things forward. And there may be snide comments, there may be remarks, there may be, well, you never used to be like that. And so this is where journaling really helps, seeking support, because what you're also doing is you yourself are getting used to this version of you that you are becoming.
Yes.
How do they speak? How do they handle a situation like that? How do they let it roll off their shoulders? How do they stay on the path? And those things are really important that you mentioned. I'll also add too, movement, because we are in a horse year, is important.
And
And
Aries, yeah.
yes, and in areas. So, and of course, whatever your physical capacity is, it could be walking, could be running, could be dancing. I mean, even just sitting in your chair and just like I like to listen to music and I'll just kind of shimmy and it just feels really good to just sway. Swaying can be therapeutic.
Nice.
Chair
Nice.
yoga. There's lots of different elements, but moving your body in one way or another, physical therapy, this is a good year to take action on those things as well that maybe you've been putting off. Oh, I got to go to the chiropractor. Go. This is the year we want to also be taking care of our physical bodies, especially in those kind of therapeutic ways.
Fantastic. And when you're moving your body, you're moving energy. I don't
Yes.
think people understand that enough. But if sometimes when we we have a challenging situation, we used to say, I'm going to go take a walk. That was more prevalent, maybe in back in the day, but the reason is because you're sloughing off energy. You're walking it
Mhm.
off, right? We say, go walk it off. These things are real. This is really going to help you move the energy out of
Mhm.
you. And I'm so glad you mentioned about the shadow energy of the one, because that's what I was getting was that with all this I am energy, you're going to have people that are jealous of you. And here's, I think, why. If you're taking this seriously and you're listening to Danielle and you're like, you know what? I get it. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I'm ready to love myself. There's going to be somebody who's not ready, who's maybe in victim mode, who's just not as far along as you for whatever reason, not judging them, but they may judge you. So just be aware of that, because you might say, well, Susan and Danielle, I was being my big
Mhm.
girl. I was being my big me, and then my husband came after me, or my sister said, why are you always so full of yourself, right? So if you know that these things can happen, like she said, this is a new version of you. So you may not know even how to react to that because it's all new, right? So watch those YouTube videos, watch videos on boundaries, arm yourself with what you need to continue to move forward, and make a vow to yourself that you're not going to let these people make you small again. You're not going to let anybody diminish you. You are worthy of being whoever you are, whatever you are.
Exactly. And while you're doing that, remember too, you have nothing to prove. And if you're in that energy of proving and showing off and being like, even sometimes in a beautiful way, you're like, no, 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 like you can do this too. But if they're not ready and you're
Yeah.
trying to prove that point, Guru Singh says, when you feel like you have to prove, you have to improve. You have to go back to the I am. Because and one thing that I found in my journey, because I remember those early stages of coming into my own and learning these tools and these practices, I thought everybody should have them. And I'm like, why aren't you doing it? Or just do it this way. So it doesn't always work that way. And that's okay. So just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll be amazed if you don't prove, if you don't point the finger, if you don't try to get them to do things they're not ready for. One day they might come back around and say, hey, can you tell me about that thing? Or can you tell me about that therapist you went to? Or I know you have that journaling practice. How does that work? And then you can have the conversation. So wait for the invitation. In the meantime, keep moving forward in the way that feels good to you as you embody that. They'll notice.
That is so good. Wait for the invitation and lead by example, is what you're saying,
Exactly.
right? And that
Exactly.
is so powerful, you guys. I think that she has helped you, she's helped me avoid some pitfalls that could, just be naturally part of this process just because of the way the energies are. Wait for the invitation, just shine. And if they're not ready to shine and they want to bring you down, then just give them the space, let them go. That might be somebody that you need to let go in 2026. Wow, this has been super, super fascinating. Anything else you want to leave us with?
I would say the biggest thing is we covered a lot of ground, and within all of that, there's also this energy of simpleness in this year, which sounds kind of radical to say
Yeah,
because we've been
yeah.
talking about being too much and this and that. And keep it simple. Meet yourself where you're at. It still is one. One is the first. It's first. It's got to make its way all the way to nine. So you know what? Let's also be in the simplicity. When you have a newborn and it's 1 day old, 1 week old, 1 month old, you're just working with what's there and you're just enjoying it for what it is. And so I want us to remember that too. I don't want this to turn into 2026 is the self-development year and now I'm hyper focusing on that. It's like yes and the horse is going to move and it is going to be fast and finding moments for stillness, finding moments for simplicity, letting this be easy, letting it be light. And the more that you bridge those concepts in, the more manageable it is to move forward. And you're going to be very surprised by the strides that you end up taking.
I can't tell you how much I love that. That is so is so helpful because this is one. We're not gonna be at a nine. We're not in a completion year. This is a beginning year. So allow yourself to begin some things, right? Like
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Enjoy the initiation.
initiation. And I think you can initiate a lot of different things this year, right? It's not like we're not gonna get it 100% right this year. This is just the beginnings. Man, this has been so helpful.
Mhm.
So you guys, as I said, I put her information down in the description below, but and I didn't even know she was teaching a class until literally 20 minutes ago when I went to her website to
Yeah.
remind myself, I literally searched for her. I'm like, I want to bring someone to my viewers that understands numerology, that understands astrology, and I vetted her, I watched her videos, I did all the things. I just didn't know she had a class, but you have a class called Unleashed. Is that correct?
Unleashed. Yes, I just launched it coinciding with the Fire Horse on the Lunar New Year. So it's literally not even 10 days old yet. Uh,
Okay, wow. Well, tell me about it briefly.
yes, so basically everything, almost everything that we have talked about within this episode.
I was getting that impression.
Yes, this covers. So what I did was I wanted to create an experience that people could do on their own, and they could do it as fast as they wanted, or they could take their time with it to move with the energy of the horse in a way that works with them, to move with the energy of one, and to move with 2026 in the energetics. So essentially, it's three phases: arrival, expansion, and then becoming. And so you're learning how to be who you are in this year, learning how to stabilize, learning how to create boundaries, learning how to be in a space to not only expand, but when you get to that expanded state, to actually hold it, to not give it back away again. And then
That's
to be in the iteration of who you are now. What does it mean to live life in this elevated way that you curated for yourself? And so it blends the modalities of what we talked about, the energetics, astrology, there's meditation, there's journal prompts, there's movement, there's even a little feng shui as well, because I do believe that I like to say, we call it a household. Okay, well, so how is your home holding you? And how are, so how is your home also reflecting and representing who it is that you're becoming? And as you energetically make space, how can you also physically make space as well? So it covers all of that.
wow. It feels holistic.
That was my goal. I wanted it to be a journey, and I wanted it to be something that you could go back to throughout the year. So you could do it now. This is a great period to do it with the retrograde and the eclipses. I think we're tomorrow at 21 days, so it would be technically 3 weeks if you wanted to do it from start to finish to the spring equinox. But then you could re-explore it again at summer solstice, whenever you need it throughout the year to just keep you on track, like the horse.
Wow, that's fascinating. So you could go back. It's almost like a capsule, like I'm
Yeah.
seeing like a container, and you
Yes.
did it for this period. If you even break your year into identity, milestones, really, it's like, okay, so I did it this, and then I came back in the summer because I felt like I completed that part of me, and now I want to look at this part. So you can just go back and redo it.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
cool.
So yeah, each week has like five different exercises. So I recommend doing like, one per day as it speaks to you. And just like what you went through, I did not plan on launching this at all. I had a completely different idea,
Got it. Wow.
literally, and it wasn't until I think it was 3 days before the Lunar New
Because
Year.
we booked this a while
Oh,
back and
this
you
was
didn't
not on
mention
my radar.
classes. I wasn't, I was like, I just want you to tell us what the heck is going on. That's
Exactly.
hilarious.
It was not my focus at all. I was really just focused on, I've been building my Substack, I've been doing one-on-ones, and I was thinking about
Oh,
maybe
I
doing
didn't
a
even
group.
know that. You do
So
one-on-ones?
I do
Okay,
I do
cool.
one-on-ones as well. Yeah. So you can book a individual session with me where we move through all of these. It's fun. It's
Wait,
fun.
c c- uh, are we done talking? Wait, I want to go back to the one-on-ones because I just have
Yeah.
questions. But
It's
so as far as the class goes,
yes.
they can sign up for any time. So it's just like
Anytime.
it's a
I just
self-study thing.
yes, I just happened to launch it
Okay.
on the Lunar New Year with the horse,
Okay.
and I called it Unleash based on, so it's working with the fire horse, but we have the fire. Technically, you can do it until the Lunar New Year of 2027. So you could do it
Oh, wow.
until February of next year, technically, because that's
That's
the energy. But yes, I was not, I wasn't on my radar until it was. And then I was like, oh, okay. And I just sat down and pumped it out.
That's That's what
in a
I'm
beautiful way.
saying. That's
So
that's
yes.
where I'm at. So
Mhm.
let me ask you about your one-on-ones because I
Yes.
didn't even know this, you guys. Um, so when you do a one-on-one reading with somebody or a
Yes.
session,
Reading. Yeah.
do you separate like astrology, numerology, or do you is it all like a kind of like
It's
I'm gonna
a
do the
blend.
whole thing?
It's a blend. It works better that way.
No, I
So
love that.
yeah, so what I like to do is I like to have your birth chart, and for me astrology I've loved it ever since I was little. I was able to read it without really studying it. I don't I mean I study it all the time because I love it and I could never get enough and I will always learn astrology. But what I realized was astrology or looking at someone's birth chart became the gateway to my intuition, to my psychic abilities. It was all of a sudden like that person's field opened up to me just by looking at their birth chart. It was like, okay, now I'm in. And now that I'm in, let's look at the numerology. Let's, of course, look at the astrology, look at the transits, but then also what else is coming through. I do work with your guides and we start to, it just becomes a beautiful conversation, is the best way to put it. And gives you a framework for how the rest of the year will go or how whatever said thing was that you wanted to focus on within the session to have a little bit more of a takeaway or an understanding around how to manage it, how to time it out, what it looks like, things like that. So it's a, yes, it's basically a blend of everything, and we always just get exactly what we need within the experience.
And I love that. I love the timing part, you guys. That is, as you hear me say all the time, or even the tarot readers, timing is really hard. But when it comes to astrology, it really helps you time things so much better. Not
It
like
does.
down to the hour, but definitely within transits. Like, this is a good time to do this, or this would be
Mhm.
like, I can just tell you, you guys that watch me know when I was selling my house last year, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I decided to sell it during a Venus retrograde. This is like, come on, Susan, you really could have done something better for yourself. It was a struggle, let me say. So, this astrology is a tool, right? And you can use it, and so is numerology, and so is
Yeah.
feng shui, and you can, so is, psychic abilities, tarot, all
All
the whole things, right? If you have the wherewithal, this is a really good year to get some types of readings.
it is.
And I love her reading because it takes these different dynamics, these different divinations, and puts them together to give you a holistic. And I think this is something, just having met Danielle for the first time, I think this is something that is her hallmark. She is a big picture person. She
Mhm.
wants to see the whole picture, and she's able to take that and help you more with that. Whereas with me, I'm seeing your psychic energies, and maybe a tarot reader is, but I love people like Danielle, and I feel like there's going to be more and more people like this because I feel
Mhm.
like we are being able to encompass so much more energetically. So I love that you do this. I didn't know that.
Yes, yes. I love that you said there's more of us that will be doing it because I agree with that. It's very multidimensional and it's being able to see the big picture, look at the patterns within it, and then create a framework and then present it in a way that's digestible. And also being able to hold space for the person and the process. Very, very much so. And it's interesting because that's exactly what I was playing with. I was like, I think I need to create a program for people that do what I do. And then Unleashed came out instead. And it was like, no. It was my guys are literally like, we love that, but get them ready with this program for get they
Number
need
one
to,
year, we got to start.
and that's literally what they were like, take your own advice, Danielle.
Got
Have the
it.
right? Everyone needs to work with the energetics of 2026, to work with the energetics of one, to get more confident in who they are. And then you can start to present more of this in a way that can be approachable. So that's interesting you mentioned it. And it just goes to show you how we can't kind of make this linear. Though I will say, when you break down planets, it's planet. The planets help you plan it.
Nice. Well, it
Well, a
might
little
not be
cheeky
linear,
one.
but it is a planning. It is a
It is
planning
planning. So
process,
that's
you
what I like
know?
about the planets because they help you with they bring in awareness, and then once you have that awareness, it's like, okay, based on that, here's how we're going to flow. Here, if you know that in 3 months this is going to happen, then how are you going to prepare for that? Or sometimes it can be as soon as, hey, next week, here we go.
right. And it could be prepare could also be take advantage of, right? Like you've got a really, really
100%.
good transit coming.
Yes.
If you wanted to, this would be a really good time to supercharge something.
Yes, to ask for that promotion or to launch that thing or to move or even to take a vacation, take time off. It's very multifaceted.
I love that. And you guys, these types of things have been the best investment that I've ever made in my life is investing in me, whether that's reading a book, taking a class, getting a reading, watching YouTube, just learning about me because I'm not like everybody else, right? So what works for everybody else is not going to work for me. And that's where I think we sell ourselves short because we're trying on everybody else's things.
Mhm.
We want to be like that person. And you're not ever going to be like that person. You're going to be like you. And so if you can figure out what makes you tick and what makes you special and what makes you, the number 1 year, the I am year, you you're bulletproof. The guides keep saying this to you. You're bulletproof because people can't take away your you.
No, I can't take away your uniqueness. What's the first three letters of unique? Uni. One. This
Yeah,
is it. This is about taking a chance on yourself too. Really
I
letting
love it.
yourself have this, letting yourself be in a space where you can learn more about you. You deserve it.
I love that. I love it. And so you're on Substack as well.
Yes, I mean,
You,
basically follow my name and you'll find me everywhere. But yes, so I do Substack, I have YouTube, I have a podcast called The Danielle Mercurio Show, and my website is under my name as well.
I love it. So, and I'll put all that stuff down in the description below. I hope everybody's enjoyed this. Please leave us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're planning, what comments you have. We would love to know about that. And if you're new here with me, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And you know what? If you're watching us, you're still watching us, you've really enjoyed this, think about sharing it with somebody. Maybe there's somebody out there that would enjoy this as well. That might be a nice thing to do. And thank you so much, Danielle, for joining us. I appreciate meeting you. I've learned so much from you. I really just enjoyed this conversation.
Oh, you are so welcome. I had such a blast talking with you and I really enjoyed it. So thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody, take really good care. We'll see you next time.